Kevin Hern calls it school choice. Jim Priest starts with the school most Oklahoma families can actually use. A tax credit can create a theoretical option. It cannot create a nearby school, provide a car, change a parent's work schedule, or erase the tuition left after the credit. The real divide is theoretical choice versus practical access. School choice is one of those political phrases that almost wins the argument by itself. Who is against choice? Kevin Hern begins by expanding educational options. Jim Priest begins by fully funding public schools and raising teacher pay. The difference is bigger than public school versus private school. It is theoretical choice versus practical access. A parent can have the legal right to choose another school and still have no practical way to send a child there. A school is not a choice if the family cannot reliably get the child there and back. The problem is easiest to see in rural Oklahoma. A $7,500 tax credit does not create a private school 20, 30, or 40 miles closer to home. In many communities, the public school is not one choice among five. It may be the only realistic choice. This is not just a rural problem. More than 13,500 Tulsa households do not have access to a vehicle. Renter households are 5 times as likely as homeowners to lack one. Another 42.5% of Tulsa households have access to only one vehicle. Think about what that means in real life. A nursing home aide clocks in at 7 in the morning. A warehouse employee works a fixed shift. A single parent depends on Tulsa Transit. A 2-parent household owns one car, and one parent needs it for work. Another parent can handle morning drop-off but cannot leave work at 3 for pickup. Even Holland Hall illustrates the difference between theoretical and practical access. The school offers limited morning bus service, including a central pickup at Utica Square, but currently has no after-school bus service. The morning service also costs extra. Add sports, band, tutoring, or clubs, and the transportation problem gets harder. Oklahoma's parental choice tax credit provides a refundable credit ranging from $5,000 to $7,500 per eligible private school student, depending on family income. That sounds substantial. Now put it next to actual tuition. Cassia Hall in Tulsa charges $19,875 for the 2026 to 2027 school year. After the maximum $7,500 credit, a family still faces $12,375 per child before any additional school financial assistance. 2 children leave $24,750. 3 leave $37,125. Heritage Hall charges $27,525 for grades 7 through 12. After the maximum credit, $20,025 remains per child. Cassidy Upper School tuition is $27,950, plus some annual fees. After the maximum credit, $20,450 remains per child. At Heritage Hall, 3 children leave $60,075 after the maximum state credit. At Cassidy, 3 children leave $61,350. Schools may offer separate financial aid, but the state credit by itself does not suddenly make a $20,000 to $28,000 a year school affordable to a household earning $60,000 or $75,000. Oklahoma's private school tax credit is not Kevin Hern's legislation, but it gives voters an actual Oklahoma experiment. August 2026 data showed 39,629 approved students receiving about $252.3 million in credits. Only 3,132, or 7.9%, were reported as attending an Oklahoma public school during the preceding semester. The remaining 92.1% were not necessarily all already attending private school. That group can include homeschooled students, children entering school for the first time, and others without prior public school enrollment. But the conclusion is still important. Very little of the program is being used by students moving directly from public schools into private schools. Of approximately $252.3 million approved, about $177.5 million, or 70.4%, went to households reporting federal adjusted gross income above $75,000. Households above $150,000 received almost $104 million. Federal adjusted gross income and median household income are not identical measures. But $75,000 is already above Oklahoma's roughly $65,000 median household income benchmark. Douglas Harris and Gabriel Olivier examined broad voucher programs in 11 states. They found private school enrollment increased only about 3 to 4%, while private school tuition increased about 5 to 10%. The study did not measure whether students learned more, so we should not claim that it did. It does show that enrollment moved a little while tuition moved considerably more. A 2025 peer-reviewed study of Indiana's statewide voucher program found little evidence that expansion changed achievement or graduation outcomes for the average student remaining in traditional public schools. That does not mean an individual student cannot benefit from changing schools. It means taxpayers deserve more than the word choice as evidence of statewide educational improvement. Oklahoma has increased the private school tax credit authorization to $275 million for the 2026 to 2027 school year. That is where school choice becomes a budget question. Capital committed to one investment is capital unavailable for another. Using the high-end planning estimates, $125 million could strengthen the certified teacher pipeline for roughly 5,000 existing positions. About $30 million could support 50 community school demonstration sites. $24 million could support Mississippi-style kindergarten through 8th grade literacy. The total is approximately $179 million. That would still leave roughly $96 million from the same $275 million. The remaining money could support counselors, early childhood, transportation, tutoring, career tech pathways, and additional help for high-poverty schools. This is not a formal budget proposal. It is an opportunity cost comparison. Oklahoma leaders often point to Mississippi's reading gains. They should study the whole lesson. Mississippi's literacy strategy was built around public school investments. Early screening, teacher training, research-based instruction, intervention, progress measurement, and instructional coaches. Improving education did not require abandoning the public school strategy behind those gains. In 2026, a broad voucher bill barely passed the Republican-controlled Mississippi House, 61 to 59. The Republican-controlled Senate Education Committee then killed it after only 84 seconds of consideration. Committee Chairman Dennis DeBar ended the matter by saying, "The bill dies today." Kevin Hern should answer this. If school choice is supposed to expand opportunity, what would you do for the family that cannot actually exercise the choice? A rural family with no nearby private school, a Tulsa parent without a car, a worker who cannot leave a job for afternoon pickup, or a $75,000 household with 3 children that still faces tens of thousands of dollars in tuition. And there is a second part. If the evidence shows that much of the subsidy goes to families already positioned to use private education while private school tuition rises faster than enrollment, why should taxpayers keep expanding subsidies rather than investing those dollars in the schools most children can already reach? Jim Priest should answer a question too. A United States Senator does not write Oklahoma's teacher salary schedule. So how would he turn fully fund public schools into something Oklahoma classrooms can see? Would he protect Title I, meet more of the federal commitment to special education, help rebuild certified teacher pipelines, expand literacy, tutoring and community schools, or strengthen career tech pathways? And what measurable results would taxpayers receive in return? Hern begins with the parent who wants another educational option. Priest begins with the school most families already depend on. Both can call that opportunity. But Oklahoma voters should ask which approach starts with the child whose parents have the fewest choices to begin with. A tax credit does not necessarily give a family another school it can use. The real education debate is theoretical choice versus practical access. Follow the money at langdon.substack.com.